Hi everybody, it's Sandy Pro and welcome back to the channel. Today's project is a French seam burrito pillowcase. For some reason I find that hard to say. Anyway, I started hearing about these probably 8 or 9 years ago, and as Sandy Pro does, procrastinate. Someday I'll get to it. And then towards the end of my work career, I had a coworker say, I just made this neat pillowcase. I'm learning how to sew, and I'm sure you'd like to do one. And she said the name, and I went, oh my, I do need to do that. So eventually, after I retired, I started to make them, and they're so easy and they're fun. So if you have extra material and you just want to bust your stash, or you want to just match your linen in your room, this is a great way to do it. Now, in my local store that I have fabric access to, we have to have half yard cuts. So for this particular trim, I bought a half yard, but I do not need a half yard. I only need 2 inches of this fabric to make one pillowcase trim. And I will be making a set off camera, but with you I will make one pillowcase at this time. So your cotton material, 100% cotton, 44 inches wide. I will need to have a 2-inch strip for the trim. The body of the pillowcase, I will need a 27-inch piece of material, and it will be 27 by 44 inches wide. So I chose gray for the body of the pillowcase. And for the edge of the pillowcase, I'm choosing navy blue. And I happened to purchase a yard of this because I want it to coordinate. However, I will just need 9 inches of this particular fabric to do the edging of the pillowcase. So, being that I am going to make 2 totally, I've got just enough, well, more than enough, to do that. And if you happen to buy any fabric at Walmart and you buy the Waverly fabric, it comes on these nice cardboard, pretty sturdy cardboard holders. I found something awesome to do with these if you've got a ton of them. We'll make that for another video. In the meantime, I'm going to get cutting fabric for this French seamed burrito pillowcase, and I probably made 30 of these things since I started. Hang on, we'll get going. It's time to cut. It's time to cut, all right, but I think I'll need to stand to do that. In the meantime, when I said let's get started, I opened up all those Waverly fabrics and the wrinkles were beyond control. So I had to go press or iron my fabric first. For the Waverlys, this didn't look too bad. I'm fine with this. But that's one thing you might want to do if you haven't, so put me on pause and go do that. Next thing I want to also comment on is that the best way to make these pillowcases is with an overall print and not a directional print, because you would have to buy in abundance more material to get the print to go in the proper direction. This is the most economical way to do it. Overall prints or solids. Okay, I'm going to stand and start to cut. For the trim of the pillowcase, I need 2 inches. Let me line that up a little bit. 1 for me to do with you. The next piece is the body of the pillowcase. I need 27 inches. One to do with you. Let's see how I did on this one. Yay! Extra material to the right. One for our project. Now this is the edging of the pillowcase. And we need 9 inches for this. One to do with you. Once all your pieces are cut, the next step that's very important is take your trim strip and your edging strip. You want to open that right up. As far as the edging strip, you take your piece of 9-inch material, fold it to 4.5 inches, and go press it. You take your 2-inch strip, open it right up. You're going to fold this one in half to an inch strip and press it. That's your next step. Okay, so now you've taken your 9-inch piece of material, folded it in half, and pressed it, and you've taken your 2-inch piece of material, folded it in half to 1 inch, and pressed it. So right now we're going to take the trim and put it aside. You're going to take the piece of material known as the edging, and you're going to tent it. And when I mean tent it, you're going to open it up with the ridge up in the air. So we want face side up. If you have printed material, your print will be looking right at you. And then take your body of your pillow and you're going to open that up. And you're going to place it to the furthest edge away from you. Raw edges together. Okay. Alright. Finally, you're going to take your trim and you're going to layer that one on top. So you have your edging facing up, you have all the prints facing you and aligned at the edge. At this point, talented people could just go on to the next step, but I have to pin. I'm just going to move it down a bit. Place another pin. These are so fun and easy. I kind of got hooked on them. You know, when you find something you like to do, I think people around me are probably tired of hearing me talk about these. But when you like it, you just kind of spread the news. Especially if you have people that are crafty around you. Now, when I went to go look for a pattern to do, I found mine on Missouri Start Quilters, you know, Jen. I actually have a couple people that I know that I was classmates with that have been out there and visited her and met her. And she's as lovely in person as she seems on all her videos. Okay, so I'm all pinned. The next step is to find the body of the pillow, the very, very end, that's probably on your lap, and you're going to take that end and start rolling it towards your raw edges. that rolled. Now you'll take the opposite edge of your trim, of your outer edge, and you're going to fold it. So we're going to hide the body of that pillowcase. And here I go. I'm going to pin at this point again. Keep all my edges aligned and pin across. And this is what you call the burrito part. Everything's rolled inside. That's probably how it got its name. So at this point, I am going to do my second one off camera. And when I have them both completed, I'll meet you at the sewing machine. Okay, I'm here and I'm going to start sewing soon, but let me tell you about my machine. I'm using a Brother machine. The style number is SQ9185. It's a computerized sewing machine. It can be used by pressing a button or a foot pedal, and right now I currently have the J foot installed and I'm using the 00 setting. So when I stitch, I'm stitching to the left side of the available space, not the center of my foot or to the right. I'm stitching to the left side because I want to make sure I catch all the layers that we have here. So we've got at least 5 layers of material stacked upon one another. So it's time to sew the Burrito Pillowcase from selvage to selvage, and here we go. Okay, so we just sewed from one end of the burrito shaped pillowcase at this point to the other. Here's the fun part. Take your burrito. I want you to reach inside, like find the main body of your pillowcase and pull it out. And just keep pulling and pulling and pulling. And then you'll have a nice finished surprise on the other end. And sometimes they come out easier than others. I'm trying to keep it in camera range. Pull and pull. See what I see? Well, I can see the reflection in the camera. But once you pull that all inside out, there you have the edge of your pillowcase. And that brings me to the next step. Check it out. Check it out. Looking good. It's amazing. Okay, so I've laid the pillowcase flat on the cutting mat, and I'm just going to neatly cut off the selvage edge so all this lines up on each edge of each pillowcase. Okay, so what I've done is I've trimmed all the edges and I've folded the pillowcase in half. These are all the strips that I've cut off. You know what that's good for. If you're a sewer, put that in your stash bag. It'll come in handy for future projects. Now, these are folded with the print side out, just like you would have them on your pillowcase if they were in use right now. And it's important to line up your edges or your seams of your trim and place a pin there. Then pin all the way down the side and across the bottom. It's time to sew. Here we are back at the machine. Just a gentle reminder, you want your print side folded on the outside of this particular task, because this is how we start to make the French seam. Normally you would have your right sides together. This time you want your right sides out. I've got pinned. I also want to tell you that I'm going to change my needle position from the far left to the center. On my machine I just have to press number 1, and now my needle has moved. I don't know if you can see that, moving from outside to center. So we want to start this particular side of, or this particular pillowcase edge with the center needle. And here we go. I'm going to turn for the bottom corner and sew across the bottom edge now. Now you can see the edge. What I'm going to do at this point is take this back to my cutting mat, and I'm going to trim the edge as close as I can get. I want to say 1/8 of an inch from the stitching. Okay, so at this point we've sewn down the side and across the bottom, and I've asked you to trim close to your stitching about 1/8 of an inch away. And hopefully you can see what that looks like if I hold this for a little bit. If you've completed that, it's time to turn your pillowcase inside out. So we want the wrong side out this time. Turn it around and poke your corners so they're nice and neat. You don't have much fabric on the ends, so they should come out reasonably nice. Okay, I've turned my pillowcase inside out. This is almost done. This is exciting. So my needle position has gone to the left, and I'm going to just sew around the edge. turning the corner, and now I'm sewing the bottom edge. So I've completed the pillowcase, and there will be no raw edges showing. This is the inside, so now we're going to turn it right side out. Oh, first I should trim this. Turn it right side out. Make sure those corners look good. You may have a thread in a few places you need to trim, but otherwise it's pretty much a finished pillowcase. I got a little one right there. Oh, there wasn't even needed a trim. I'm going to shake it now. It's completed. I'm going to fold it up and take some pictures, and please take your time, go through this video again, pause where you need to. These are beautifully finished, and they're quite a nice gift to give someone by doing it with a French seam. Okay, the pillowcases have been folded and pressed and folded. And I've taken a picture of them on the table, which will be coming up. I also coordinated them with an Afghan I recently finished, so I will show you pictures and pictures. Pictures of the ones we just made, pictures of them with the Afghan, and also I have nearly every picture of the 30 previous ones I've made. So stay a couple extra minutes and check out the ones that I've completed before I did this set with you.